Hi Preview, it's Vania, and today I'll be running down what I'd like to think are our 5 signature pieces. Okay, so let's go down memory lane, shall we? I think everyone knows that from the beginning, I personally love bows and putting that detail into almost every design I had when I started out. So I think it was really organic for me to start with this top that we called the Camden. So it was a strapless top basically that had a beautifully draped bow on it that was structured. We made it with silk. So we started selling that. And we actually started in 2015 a website, an e-commerce website. And we were actually the first in the entire Philippines to actually start a designer e-commerce website. And we're very proud of that. So we started selling ready-to-wear pieces, specifically the Camden. And that was one of the fast-selling pieces. We did it in every iteration with long dresses. I did it custom for clients. I even made a bridal piece that looked like it. During the early 2012, 15s. I think that was the time that Philippine Fashion Week was still a thing. We did a beautiful sort of I was obsessed with off-shoulders. So we did this beautiful sort of flowy off-shoulder top that just became a hit. Again, we also did several iterations of it in different fabrics as well. It was called the Florence top. So I remember having, I think Maggie Wilson wear it, or was it Camisa? I'm not sure who walked the runway on it, or with it rather, but we started selling that in our site too in 2015, and I'm telling you, it flew like people were buying it left and right. We're very proud of that, and I think that's when I felt that was instantly a signature piece as well. And then moving forward in 2018, we opened our first retail space in Rockwell, and at that moment we were like, okay, people love the Florence, people love the Camden, what's our new thing? And so I think apart from releasing a few polka dot pieces, which I personally love, we also did this sort of sculptural silk flowers that we attached on pieces like a halter top or a dress, and we called it the Dahlia. And this was part of the first collection that we put out in our Rockwell store. And so the Dahlia, that was also such an iconic piece for us because that also sort of really signified the start of our brick and mortar shop, which was in Rockwell. So the Dahlia was a detail that I personally loved because it's actually hand cut and sewn by everyone in our workshops. The detail that goes into these Dahlia pieces, from the cutting to, burning the edges of it to attaching the flower, which was all obviously hand cut, is such an ode to the craftsmanship of our team. And that reflects in, how people, responded to it. And I think that's why I would consider it as one of our, signature pieces. Fast forward to now, I would say one of the most special pieces for me is also the Camisa. So that design idea actually started in 2020 during the pandemic. So I took inspiration from the traditional Camisa and we produced it 2 years ago in a beautiful silk, and it did really well. But I never expected that it would become, such a special piece that a lot of the women sort of really relate to, because my idea was taking something that was super traditional and something that people would expect to wear at very specific events that required people to wear Filipiniana, and just taking that idea and making it something that, even someone as young as someone in high school would appreciate wearing. So we did it in a traditional cropped size, and then, we did it in a light fabric, and then I just took the idea of a Filipiniana sleeve and just created it in a softer manner. That was really just, the idea was for it to be super easy to wear. And we've seen it. We've seen how much everyone loved it and just wore it with jeans or with shorts and wore it to something formal, to something casual. And I was just really proud of our team for really making something that resonated with all types of women. And it was really something that can be considered a classic, something you'd buy, something you'd pass on to your children. And, the fact that it's also really inspired by the traditional Filipina garment. And yeah, we've done it in different colors and iterations and fabrics. We've done done it with pearls, and it still continues to be something that a lot of the women out there feel like they could wear, regardless of size. So because I promised 5 signature pieces, what I feel really translates or is in line with the brand is our bridal wear, of course. And as you know, we have worked on a really special line of bridal wear, which promises our brides pieces that are very accessible and are true to our brand's signature pieces and sort of design aesthetic. So we have the Bridal Studio, which features all of your favorite VR signature pieces translated into bridal wear. Thank you so much for listening and joining me on the trip down memory lane. This is Vania. You can follow us on Vania Romoff on Instagram, Studio Vania Romoff, and Bridal Vania Romoff. And of course, don't forget to follow Preview's channel. Bye guys, thanks for joining me.